Okay, just gone 8 AM. We're on our way to the ground, day 2, to see if we can get things sorted at the stadium. We got a message late last night suggesting that things may have been plugged in, but they haven't been connected at the exchange because there's been some damage because of the cyclone, and that may take a little while to get sorted. We're also waiting for power in the commentary box so that we can turn on all of our bits of kit to make everything work. So fingers crossed that happens. It's busy in Chennai this morning, the sun is shining, and hopefully we'll be able to get things working later on this morning. So we've arrived in the commentary box, and rather unbeknownst to us, a big advertising board has been put up behind where we're due to commentate from, which obviously isn't great for those that are at the back of the commentary box that need to see the game. So we're now in negotiations to try and get that taken away. Adam, you've been to speak to some officials here. It's early in the morning. What news can you bring?
I'd say the news, Henry, is mixed, to be honest, but not too surprising. We were waiting, obviously, yesterday for several hours for these ISDN lines, these sort of high-quality telephone lines that we broadcast Test Match Special on. Well, because of the cyclone here, I've just been told that 85% of those lines have been cut here in Chennai, which means that we'll have to wait till at least 4 o'clock for anything to happen, and I would suspect there's a pretty good chance that they won't happen at all. So what we were talking about just downstairs was contingency plans, possibly broadcasting through the internet, which we have done a few times. We do it in the West Indies and Sri Lanka. We did it actually in the first test here in Rajkot. But fingers crossed we can get something done, but it's going to be nip and tuck.
Well, rather earlier than expected, an engineer has arrived and is starting to work on some wires that could, perhaps, get Test Match Special on the radio. This is always an important part of getting your lines installed overseas. When the telephone comes along, it's a normal landline phone, they plug it in and see if there's any connection back to the exchange. Hard to say if that's going to be the case, we'll have to wait and see, but work is progressing and we're hoping things will get sorted in the not too distant future. In the meantime, we've got to go and find the England captain Alistair Cook and record his pre-match press conference.
Yeah, it's something like almost out of a movie set when we arrived from the airport to the hotel, and we knew it was bad. Obviously, saw the footage of the cars and stuff, but actually getting here and seeing what's happened, it's yeah, it kind of puts everything in a little bit.
It's about 2:30. We are still waiting for things to work. We've got a very helpful engineer here that's been doing his absolute best to get things going, but as you might tell from the tone of my voice, things aren't working quite yet. It's one of those frustrating situations where everything looks like it should be working, but it just isn't, and that's the kind of nightmare scenario really, because you've got everything in place that you're expected to be in place, you've got the technology you need, yet somewhere the line between here in Chennai and the TMS studios back in the United Kingdom, something's not working and they can't get through to us. So we're trying to rectify that, sort that out, and we'll see how we go. But fingers crossed, as always, fingers crossed. Okay, so we're heading towards the end of the second day here in the commentary box, trying to get things working in time for the broadcast tomorrow morning. Play underway at 9:30 AM. It's now just gone 5:30 in the evening, and as yet we have no guaranteed way of getting on the air tomorrow morning, but don't worry, we will make sure by hook or by crook that the Test Match Special is there. At the moment the ground staff are out in the middle, putting the pitch to bed as we saw last night, dragging the ground sheets out over across the surface. Here in the commentary box, we're waiting for the engineer to return. He came back about an hour or so ago to fit this little box of tricks, which should in theory get us on the radio. I probably should drop his telephone, but that's okay, that's not the bit that we need. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be here in a little bit and we can try and get on the radio. So it's coming up towards 8 o'clock in the evening. We're still waiting for the return of our engineer. Everyone else seems to have left the ground. There's some lights out there in the distance that you might be able to pick out of the sponsorship hoardings being tested out, and there's the odd flicker of some welding going on in the distance. But still we wait, and still we try and get things sorted. If we need to be here all night, we will be here all night. Okay, it's gone 9 o'clock in the evening, and the gates are shutting outside the ground. We need to get out of here with the last people standing in the media centre, apart from the engineer who has worked tirelessly with us today to try and get us everything we need to get on the radio. We haven't managed the main line that we wanted to get the normal means of broadcasting, but we do have a backup that we think is going to do the job, and you shouldn't notice any difference listening on your radios on 5 Live Sports Extra, Radio 4 Longwave, or via the BBC Sport app. We're going to be on air at 3:45 AM tomorrow morning UK time, around about 12 hours from now locally. So we're going to leave before they shut us in, and we'll be back first thing in the morning to make sure that we're there crystal clear in your radios.